Hello again. Looking at Christian events that have happened in the past, happening in the present, and that are making history. It's another episode of Historic. Charles Spurgeon, William Wilberforce, Elizabeth Fry, George Whitefield, John Wesley, they all had one thing in common in terms of their application of the gospel. They were all concerned for the poor and the poorest. We find it again and again in church history. Now, London City Mission is an organization which has held true to its evangelical roots for its over 175 years of history. Now, this year, on the 15th of February, they're hosting the Big Winter Sleepout. Over 10,000 people slept on the streets of London last year, and that is often in freezing conditions. And London City Mission is drawing attention to this fact with the Big Winter Sleepout. If you'd like to find out more details about that, details are below. One of our friends at Christian Heritage London, Glenn Scrivener, the author of The Air We Breathe, which is a book about how the gospel has changed the world for everyone, not just Christians. He is hosting a strategic event for the Gospel Coalition called Everyday Evangelism. This starts on the 30th of January and goes on till the 6th of March. It's a course designed to help you to transform conversations into gospel opportunities. It's a 6-weekly course to be held on Thursdays online from the 30th of January to the 6th of March. One of the things I love about Glenn is he's drawing attention to how the church is the means, is the priority that God has chosen. If you read the New Testament, you find it again and again and again. Paul is prioritizing the small things. Paul is prioritizing the local relationships. He's prioritizing these little things, family, marriage. And here Glenn, a man who is writing about big macro issues, is helping people to turn conversations with friends into gospel opportunities. Details for this strategic event, Everyday Evangelism, are below. 6th of February, a book launch for a very important book is being held in central London. Tim Dieppe is a brave and articulate voice taking on big issues that are happening in this country at the moment and in the world. This book is called The Challenge of Islam. Christians find the challenge of engaging with Muslims to be very challenging because, of course, we have so many things apparently in common. We believe in one God. Most of us believe in family. Most of us believe in community. And yet we don't believe in the same thing. What's the difference? Now, Tim Dieppe is somebody who's looked not only at the difference of what Islam is, but the consequences of believing these two different roots. The book is The Challenge of Islam. The date is the 6th of February, and it's to be held in Westminster. Details are below. In the present, it was great to sit down recently with Jacob Tanner, who has written a great book on John Bunyan. Now, there's one thing you need to know about that podcast. He loves the grace of God. And that was John Bunyan's great priority. His autobiography was called Grace Abounding to the Chief of Sinners. Also, we had the great privilege of interviewing Tim Chaddick. He is somebody who's planted 3 churches, who is prioritizing serving the church. In the past, someone who has great history in January is Charles Spurgeon. 175 years ago, 6th of January, Charles Spurgeon walked into a church building and heard someone preaching a very simple sermon. Look to Jesus, look to Jesus. That he considered to be the day of his conversion. When he died, he was the most published person in the world. He was running 60 companies, and the Metropolitan Tabernacle was a church which was changing London. If you walk into a Baptist church in London now, it is very likely that you will see a plaque somewhere saying Charles Spurgeon started this church. We put up a little video about him here, but if you'd like to learn more about him, read The Forgotten Spurgeon by Iain Murray, or listen to Piper's talk on him at desiringgod.org/biographies. That's all for this time, but remember, Jesus Christ is the same, yesterday and today and forever.